Hey everybody, this is Binder Minder, and today I received our Vegas Magiccon Festival in a box. I'm gonna check it out. So inside here we will have one secret lair, and we'll have I think it's 3 promo cards. Two of them are like normal cards, and then one of them is one of the fake cards, basically the little cards that. Like it looks like it has a sticker on it, and then we have a box of mystery boosters 2 inside. I did want to point out, I noticed on this is kind of unusual. So they've got the seal on here, but I don't know if you can see it. There you go. And so they've just taped over the seal completely. So I figured I'd point that out just in case there's an issue when we get into this, because it's kind of unusual. I don't know if I doubt somebody reopened the whole thing up and dove and did that, resealed it. Or anything like that, but you never know. So, welcome to your own personal Magiccon. So for everybody who wasn't able to make the Magiccon, they get their own little Magiccon themselves here. Of course, there's not long lines or people scalping or apparently bribes, if you guys have been watching Reddit and some of the drama going on there, and obviously a whole bunch of people buying and reselling Final Fantasy Collector Booster Packs, and yeah, a whole bunch of drama. Oh, and somebody buying all the playmats day one, first person in line. But so we got this promo. We have Slay the Day, Rainbow Foil Edition Secret Lair, and then our mystery booster box. So I'll get this out. Mystery booster box, all sealed up. Go ahead and we'll start off the promos and go from there. So there's no surprises in here. All the guesses or all the surprises will be in the Mystery Booster 2 box, I think there. But I was pretty excited about this. So I didn't get the last festival in the box, but I got the previous one. I really liked it. I like the layers. It was the one that came with the extra packs, which I think was really nice. But they lowered the price for this one, which was even better. But again, I mean, it wouldn't have been too bad if it had some Final Fantasy Collector Booster Packs in there or something. But so all you can eat buffet, got that big Vegas theme. The all you can eat buffet is from Vegas. So there's a retro foil sliver hive, which is well timed given the fact that there's discussion as to whether slivers are going to be in the next set. And then there's a retro foil Ugin the Spirit Dragon, and I love these colorless retro foils. These look pretty cool. Now I know not everybody likes the foils in general, but the colorless ones, because they didn't used to make colorless ones with this frame, they look pretty cool, pretty unique. All right, so we got Slay the Day Rainbow Foil Edition from the Festival in the Box, Las Vegas. There's no thank you text or anything there, but we do get one of the standard thank you cards. And then inside, we have a paper package, a little easier to open. So we got Marwyn the Nurturer in foil. Lisa, Shroud of Dusk. Kind of weird. There's almost like there's an extra foil right there on that part. Valero, Ageless Ascetic. Some of those sparkles that I saw on the previous layer there too. It's almost it looks to me like it's like dust under the foiling. Let me see if I can show you. Kind of caught them right there a little bit. And then Scythus, Harvest Hand. And then our bonus card. So this is one of the random bonus cards. Cleaver, Scab, Retro Foil. I'll go through at the end. I'll scan. We'll find out, how much any of those are worth. Anyhow, we're gonna dive into the Mystery Booster 2 box. So my wife, she's not as big of a fan of these. She doesn't like the retro, or she doesn't like the Future Sight frames. She doesn't like the white bordered cards at all. And that's, you're getting one of those in every one of these packs. It's kind of what these are all about. And beyond that, you're just getting a whole bunch of list cards. So there is an ungodly amount of cards that you can pull from these. When it comes to the Future Sight or the white bordered, and there are a couple cards that are arena cards like Oracle of the Alpha. I'd love to pull Oracle of the Alpha. That card itself, I don't think it's foil or anything. It may be foil. The only version of that card, though, it is foil, but it's only available in foil. The only version of that card is like $250, $290. But it's a cool card. But so when it comes to those cards, because those are really the only ones we can keep track of when it comes to TCG Player, because like I said, a lot of these are just list cards. There's obviously Urza, Lord High Artificer, and Future Sight, Command Tower, Gitz, Yawgmoth Praetor, Titiana, Rusko, Arcane Signet, Miri Weatherlight Duelist, Reflecting Pool, Karn, a bunch of those that we'll have to keep an eye out for. The white borders, Urza Saga is the biggest hit. I'd also be looking personally, I'd love to see a Dragon's Approach. A foil would be pretty cool. There's a bunch. At the end of the day, there's a whole bunch that would be exciting to see. Good cards, good playable cards, and stuff like that. And then on top of that, these typically, and there's no guarantee, these typically have one foil per box. Sometimes there's none, and sometimes there's two. So those foils, as a rule of thumb, most of those foils, because they're so rare, are pretty valuable. That's usually your biggest hit. And then, of course, you have all the list cards, and there's so many cards that you can pull from that. So we'll just go ahead and dive into it and see what we get. If I see anything that I recognize right off the bat, I'll throw it down here. Which, by the way, I got the new Bob Ross playmat out to work. We'll see how lucky it is today. As Bob said here, we don't make mistakes, just happy little accidents, and that's down here in this corner. You can't really see it, but so we'll see if this is a mistake. I doubt it, but there's gonna be a whole bunch of cards here that I just straight up missed. These list cards, some of them I just don't recognize, and there's just too many for me to learn. So, Angelic Favor, Generous Gift, Wicked Slumber, Tempest Caller, Strains of Night, Throat Slitter, that's a brutal name. Brutal art, too, to be honest. Sting Scourger, Reckless Barbarian, Jungle Lion, Baloth Woodcrasher, Gruul War Chant, Plague Engineer, that's our rare. And then for our white border card, we have a rare Archon of Emeria. And then for our Future Sight, we have Ernam Jijin. And our test card is Dwarven Confluencer. There are a couple of the test cards that are worth something, but for the most part, we don't really need to worry about them too much. Basari Solidary, Faith Unbroken, Referee Squad, Brilliant Plan, Zombie Infestation, that's cool, Pawn of Ulamog, Flowstone Hellion. The art on there is kind of crazy. It kind of looks like a sliver. It looks like some of the sliver artworks, at least the ends of it. Voldran Epicure, Moment's Peace, Monstrous Growth. My wife's going to love that one with the cat on there. It's going off to the side. Paradise Mantle. Consuming Aberration. Leyline of Sanctity for a white bordered. Hogak Arisen Necropolis. And then 2x4. So I don't know if there's anything specific that I'm looking for. I mean, obviously, you know, a really cool flow would be good. The Oracle of the Alpha that I mentioned already. Love to get Urza Saga. I actually don't have an Urza Saga, so that would be a good one to see. Vanish into Eternity. Sea Scryer. Undo. That's cool. Death Greeter. Soul Drinkers. I'll tell you what. See, I opened this mystery booster box, or you know, the first one that I did, and the amount of cards I've used in decks is crazy. I didn't realize how many that I would later on go looking for and turn out they were from this box. But so I'm hoping that with this one, no matter what I pull, that I get a bunch of cards that I'll be able to use in the future as well. Thermopod by Force, Summit Apes, Might of the Old Crosa, Agent of Acquisitions. There's a lot of text on that one. Instead of drafting a card from a booster pack, you may draft each card in that booster pack one at a time. If you do, turn Agent of Acquisitions face down, and you can't draft cards for the rest of this draft round. That is a weird card. All right, we got a Mythic in Eoris, God of Victory. That's cool. Creatures you control have menace. Prevent all damage that would be dealt to attacking creatures you control. I got an uncommon with Deafening Silence. Wild looking art. And then Life Tap. Lifening Elemental. Azorius Herald. The Birth of Meletis. Tezzeret's Gambit. Vidalcan Dismisser. Moment of Defiance. Unexpected Fangs. I feel like I just grabbed two cards. Nope. Balduvian Warlord. Humble Defector. Tireless Provisioner. Classic card. Squirrel Nest. That's pretty cool. Squirrel's got an eyeball. Rutha, Mercurial Artist. We got a Mythic with Balance. This is a brutal card if you guys have never played it. Each player chooses the number of lands he or she controls equal to the number of lands controlled by the player who controls the fewest, then sacrifices the rest. Players discard cards and sacrifice creatures the same way. Basically, everybody ends up with the same number of lands, creatures, and cards in hand. Got a rare with Boleas Citadel. And then Kagochi Vengeful Kami. Essence of Ajani. That's kind of neat. An emblem. Wherever you cast a spell, you gain 1 life. Constricting Sliver. So like I said, slivers might be coming back. I'm pulling a couple slivers here. Sliver creatures you control have, when this creature enters the battlefield, you may exile target creature an opponent controls until this creature leaves the battlefield. That could be brutal, but it is 6 mana. Rambunctious Mutt. Don't see too many dogs, so it's always cool to see them. Grip of the Royal. Flight of Fancy. I've heard that one being used before. Moonglove Changeling. Gains Death Touch. I kind of like that. Liliana's Spectre. Volcanic Geyser, Chiron Negotiations, Ancestral Mask. It can be pretty crazy if you have a lot of enchantments. Charge Through, Mountain Valley. Get a rare with Goblin Chain Whirler. Uncommon, Snow-Covered Wastes. I can't complain about that. I'm always looking for wastes. Aether Vial, that's a good one. And Arcanum Things. Abzan Battle Priest, Ajani's Welcome, Pendrell Drake, Fumble, Zulaport Cutthroat, that's a card you see quite often, Digraph Ghoul, Slavering Nulls, that just jumped out of my hand there. Storm Killing Artist, another one you see often from Strixhaven. Hero's Bane, it's a Hydra. Indrix Stomp Howler. It looks like a dinosaur, but it's listed as a beast. Mayhem Devil. Look, the devil type even. Got a Mythic with Thantis the War Weaver. Uncommon with Narset Parter of Veils. And then Oath of Druids for our future site. Intangible Vibes. Are we having Intangible Vibes yet? Flicker Wisp. Tenacity. Web of Inertia, Specimen Collector, Keeper of the Dead, Dead Weight, Gorilla Shaman, Glare Wielder, Broken Wings. I've seen this one used. Rampant Growth. I think everybody's seen that one be used before. Heraldic Banner. It's kind of cool. Taps for mana. Gives them +1/+0. It's 3 costs. A little expensive. Archivist of Ogma. We got a common with Basilic Gate. And then we have Nomads and Core. Noble Ox. I would go good in my Ox deck, given that there's basically no oxes. Tristani's Judgment. Wall of Swords. It's flying but cannot attack. Voyager Drake. Time of Ice. Nezumi Prowler. Unspeakable Symbol. Faithless Salvaging. Footfall Crater. Carrion Dryad. Feral Hydra. Nomad Outpost. Douthie Voidwalker, that's a good one. Common with the Street Wraith. And then we got Crashing Footfalls. The Heron Moon. Omen of the Sun. Imposter of the Sixth Pride. There's another sliver, Tectonic Sliver. Cloak of Feathers. Endless Scream. That's cool. Tortured Existence. Burning Prophet. Electric Revelation. Great Oak Guardian. Hydra's Growth. Burning Tree Emissary. We got a Mythic with the Chroma Angel of Wrath. That's a good card. And then we got Ash Barrens for our white border, and Echo of Eons, which isn't a bad card for our future site. Under Construction Skyscraper. That's interesting. I'm sure I've missed quite a bit, but I haven't really seen any huge hits so far. But I mean, there's uncommons in here that are like $40, $50 and stuff. So, I mean, it's hard to tell. Like I said, I'm sure somebody's saying, no, you missed that one right now to the screen. Keru. Angel of Vitality. Curse of Verbosity. Leap. Alphatic Wisps. Vampire of the Dire Moon. Fanning the Flames. Seal of Fire. Hunted Wumpus. Bloom Hulk. Worn Power Stone. Got a rare Rowl Storm Conduit. Got a rare white border, Stony Silence. And then we got Hydroblast. Wise Drafter's Will. Opponents play with their hands revealed. Stone Cloaker. Suture Priest. Spike-tailed Drake. Owl Familiar. Epic Downfall. That's cool art. Reanimate. That's a good hit. Volcanic Hammer. Stormcaller. Sheltering Word. Elemental Bond. Lethadril Longbow. We got a Mythic here. Soren Solomon Visitor. We got a Mythic here as well. Sphinx of the Steel Wind. And Sensei's Divining Top. That is a good hit. And Friar Ball. It's got Cost Storm. When you cast a spell, copy for each different mana value among the spells and lands you've played this turn. Avon Squire. Avon Squire. Desperate Lunge. Surgical Skull Bomb. Code of Constraint. Chittering Rats. Chang of Smog. Thunderclap. Reckless Rage. Strangleroot Geist. Spore Swarm. I bought that one before. Crystal Vein. Tasha's Hideous Laughter. And Prismatic Ending for our white border. And then Ensnaring Bridge. Creatures with the power greater than the number of cards in your hand cannot attack. Liliana's Other Contract. There's a bunch of text on that one. Whole bunch of text. I like that they did the list cards, but I kind of wish all of them were listed as mystery booster as far as the card name. I get it, but at the same time, it'd be cool to be able to track to even just see what else in there, which versions and stuff you have. But Ministry of Obligation, Angelic Page, Avon Fisher, Enclave Cryptologist, Indulgent Tormentor, Urborg Repossession, Bold Royer Intimidator, Pillaging Horde, Ancient Silverback, the art on that thing, Crypt Past Rootkin, Decanter of Endless Water. It's a common, but man, are these useful. And frankly, they've gone up in price because they're from the because they're from Battle of Boulder Gate. Sulumgor, the Drifting Death. You get a rare with Mutilate. All creatures get -1/-1 till end turn for each swamp you control. That might actually go right into my white bordered rat deck, to be honest. And then we got Grinding Station. That's not a bad card either. Last atop Archway. Boros Elite, Spirit Link, Ideas Unbound, Set Adrift, Merciless Executioner, Summon Undead, Goblin Gardener, Fire Servant, Argothian Elder, Plated Crusher, Signal Pest, Shoyoung, the Silent Tempest. You got Preordained in the white border. I like seeing playable cards in here. And Rest in Peace for the Future Sight. That's also very playable right now. Search Elemental. I don't know how much it's worth, but it is very playable. Ketramona's Blessing, Master of Arms, Acquisition Octopus, Curiosity, the combo card. If you ever see this thing, just get rid of it. Immediately get rid of it. It's always bad. Dockside Chef, Crypt Champion, Fearless Skull, Seething Anger, Penumbra Worm, Prosperous Innkeeper. It's a good card. Wall of Denial, Bone Crusher Giant, Once Upon a Time for the white border, and Pyroblast for the Future Sight. Magus of the Chains. Go ahead and put the Prosperous. This, I looked it up. It's not super value. It's like 15 cents. Good card, but not a big hit. All right. About time we find a foil, right? That way maybe we can find a second foil. Wakestone Gargoyle. Hopefully it's a good one. Spirit Mantle. Omen. Man o' War. That's a classic. Battle Rage Blessing. Skullport Merchant. Bard Batterfist. Pyrite Spellbomb. Bushwhack. You see this get played all the time, at least until it leaves standard. Vivian's Grizzly. Bonder's Ornament. Dragonlair Spider. Got a Mythic with Comment Stellar Pup. That's a good card. I don't know how much value it's got these days, but it's a good card. Rain of Daggers. And then Teferi Druid of Argoth. Journey to Nowhere. Step Links. Cold Water Snapper. Onomancer. Audacious Thief. Diabolic Servitude. Two-Handed Axe. Arms Dealer. Overgrowth. Woodland Mystic. Scuttlemutt. Hushbringer for rare. Well, you lose the game. Whoever it is, you're watching this. Summoner's Pact for the white border. And Rashada Port for a land with the future sight. If you hear some noise, my cats are starting to play in the background. As I say that, they burn out. Ghostly Prison, always a good card. Not a big dollar hit, but good card. Raise the Alarm. Weather Seed Fairies, Omen of the Sea. Elspeth's Nightmare. Hero's Downfall, you see that one often. Convulsing Leased. Rin's Resolve. Overwhelming Encounter. Evolving Charm. Another sliver with the Frenetic Sliver. What does this one do? 0 mana cost too. If this creature is in play, flip a coin. If you win the flip, remove the creature from the game and return it to play under its owner's control. Oof. Lavoid, Emissary of Trust. And we got a rare Displacer Kitten. Love the artwork on this one. And we got Miri's Gold. Down to 6 packs now. Still no foil. Custody Squire. Hey! Perimeter Captain. Rescind. Pirate's Prize. Archetype of Finality. Skeletal Changeling. Imitating Soul Leader. Trickery. Wall of Roots. Classic. Assault Formation. Bobel's Armor. Vindicate. Got an uncommon with Ghost Quarter. And Goblin Lackey. Got Microscope for the playtest card. Various Valorous Stance. Samurai of the Pale Curtain. Narcolepsy. Wash Away. Vow of Malice, Bloodthirsty Aerialist, Plundering Barbarian, Reckless Abandon, Fortifying Droughts, Presence of Gond, Urborg Volcano, Gaddock Teak. Got the Kithkins, they're coming back soon, beginning of next year. Thopter Foundry for the white border, and for our future site, we got Swords of Plowshares. Useful card, always good to see. Not a foil though. Still no foil. I haven't had the best luck lately, and it would be in my luck to not get the foil at all. Alright, Hope and Glory. Armored Ascension. Spirit Noble. Sorceress Sight. Bogart Harbinger. Underworld Hermit. That feels like me sometimes. Crimson Wisps. Stoke the Flames. Leatherback Baloth. Saruf's Packmate. Goldvein Pick. Clever Impersonator. We got a common with Faithless Looting for the white border. And not a foil. So we got a Collected Company. And then Panglacial Shinobi. Alright, down to 3 packs. One of these days I'm going to pick one of these things up and actually draft with it, because these would be a blast to draft with. Radiance Judgment. Resolute Reinforcements. Berg Strider. Wing Splicer. Grave Shifter. A lot of shapeshifters in here. Gilt Leaf Winover. Go for Blood. Merchant of the Veil. Ooh, I see the foil. Masked Admirers. Jade Mage. Bogart Ram Gang. Hell's Caretaker for a rare. The foil just keeps wanting to slip. We got a Mythic as well for the white border. Minx and Boo, Timeless Heroes. That's a good hit. It goes good with our comment. So this is not the first time. My last time I got a green foil as well. And I kind of wonder... Collected Company. So we already got the Collected Company once. We got it again here with the foil this time, though. It was so slick that the card in front of it just wanted to slide. Phyrexian Seedling. So that is a rare, but it's not a big hit in the foil. The normal version of the card is 241, and then the foil is 1587. Not the one we wanted to see, obviously, but you know, you can't really complain. But at least we got a foil. I was starting to get pretty confident that we weren't going to get one at all. So let's see what else we get, though. I still haven't seen. We've seen a couple of good hits here, but I haven't seen any of the hits that I was hoping to see. There's just so many cards to pull from, and it's honestly, like I said, there's so many here that. From the list stuff, or the list cards, that I just have no idea if we're gonna do well or not. Avian Changeling, Probe, probably don't want that. Daring Saboteur, Feigned Death, Blot Out. Got a few of those. Giant Cinder Maw, Frenzied Saddle Brute, Tangle. Biogenic Upgrade, Junkyard Genius. We got a rare with Grim Hireling. Got a common for Ponder, still playable. I can't complain. Cunning Wish, and then Slumbering Waterways. All right, for our last pack, maybe we get a big hit on this one. Maybe I could use an Urza, well, as a foil, probably won't see those. A Miri's Weatherlight Duelist, how about that? Arcane Signet, that'd be fun. Urza Saga in the white border or something, you know? Come on, Magic Gods. Alright, Tireless Tribe. Chastise, Dive Down, Capaldi Broker, I can't say that one right. Young Necromancer, Douthie Trapper, Torrent of Fire, Cheering Fanatic, Blanchwood Prowler. I use this one quite a bit in one of my decks. It goes away here with this next set. Streetwise Negotiator. Ooh, got another foil. Did you guys see that? Oh. Cogwork Librarian. We get another chance. Dress Down for our white bordered card. It's a Daze, uncommon. What do we get here? The foil bear. I've actually bought this regular card, so I can't complain. I love this card. I love that this is one of the only cards that's just a proper full art. You know, you have full art lands, and then you have extended art regular cards, or you have borderless regular cards, but full art cards that don't have any text. There are very few of them, and most of them are for tournament winners at your local game stores. At your local game stores, those cards typically, like there's an Urza Saga that's like that, but those cards have text. This one though, Force Bear, this is just a 2-mana 2/2 bear, nothing else, no abilities, and so they just filled the whole card up with this hilarious, almost a man in a suit bear costume with those paws, and I love it. And then we got Processing Plant for our last card for the test card. All right, so we know we got, I don't know if this is a big hit or not, I'll check. We got a couple hits here, and there's probably a bunch more in this stack here. So I'm going to go through and get everything scanned. I'll be back in just a little bit. You'll see me in just a second. I'll have everything scanned, sleeved up and whatnot, and we'll see how we did. Okay, I'm back. Got everything all finished up, everything scanned in, sleeved up and whatnot, ready to go. And it's not too bad to scan. There is you get a decent amount of cards, but it's not a giant thick draft box or something like that with a lot of bulk. In fact, as far as the commons go, there's actually less commons than there are uncommons in these packs in total. And I think that's because it's not a traditional set. This is just cards that they thought would be good to draft and fun to play. Obviously, they slip in some valuable cards in here, and then they have all their Mystery Booster exclusive cards as well. But because of that, there's just going to be less commons. You know, it's not the stuff that you're necessarily looking to draft, and the stuff that they did put in here is usually pretty good. So, like I said earlier, when I bought my last box, there was a lot of cards that I ended up using a lot. Like I pulled from multiple decks a lot of cards from these boxes. So I'm not upset about having some draft, some bulk from this. And frankly, a lot of these are worth more than you would think. The uncommon stack, there was a lot of uncommons. I mean, even in the valuable stuff, there's commons and uncommons that are over $2 or more. So there's a lot of stuff in there. Same thing goes with the uncommons. There's a lot. You see a little bit more of the white borders and stuff in here, but nothing too crazy. Lots of cards you probably would recognize. Ash Barrens. It's not unusual to see playable cards because of the purpose of the set isn't to just open up. It is the draft. So a lot of stuff there. And then, of course, for the rares and mythics, it's actually pretty small. At least as far as the stuff that wasn't valuable. There is a lot of value in the set. So in comparison, though, the rares and mythics stack is a lot smaller. This other stack I got over here, I just set these aside. These don't really have a rarity indication that I know of. All the playtest cards. And I did scan all these in. None of these were worth over $1. None of them were really worth anything. There's a couple in there when we were going through them that stood out to me. Let's see if I can find any of them. The Noble Ox one, because I have an Ox deck. That sounds interesting. The Ajani one. Where's the other one? Pokey the Scallywag. But yeah, there's a few cards in here that could be fun to play. Again, I hope someday that I actually make a point to draft one of these. because I do think that slipping these in here can make some really fun interactions when it comes to playing your draft games. That said, there's a couple things to keep in mind. So this is the stack of cards that fall into that $1 to $2 range. It's not a bad stack. And you know, good cards, Ponder. A lot of cards you would actually see being played. You know, Rest in Peace, that's getting played quite a bit, even in Standard right now. If I can get these two apart. Preordained, that's always getting played. You know, Stormkiln Artist, Silverport Cutthroat, Tireless Provisioner. Some good cards there. But the size difference between that stack and this stack right here, these are the cards that are over $2. That's a big stack. Which, if it might clue you in, we did well. You know, these boxes typically do. My last box, it was kind of hard to tell with my last box because it was when they first brought out the Mystery Booster 2s. And, you know, when I scanned everything in, the prices were just through the roof, right? And they did eventually settle down, and I'm confident that I still paid for my box pretty easily. But, you know, it's hard to tell when you're not scanning it all in at once. I did save this waste. This is the only land that I pulled that was just a standard land. With the white borders, you can get other lands. You know, wasn't stressing too much. This is probably the one I wanted the most anyhow. Waste. My wife even asked me the other day, she goes, why do I keep seeing you get waste on orders? And it's because most sets don't have them. And I am planning on eventually building a colorless deck. So at some point, I'm going to need them. So there's something going on with the camera here. I'm going to go ahead and stop the camera and I'll be right back. I don't know. I was seeing the thing focus, but doing some weird resizing there. I don't know what was going on there. Anyhow, so for this stack, and let me get my notes here. We're starting at the stuff that's just $2. We're starting here at the top. This Spirit Mantle is $2. Days with the white border is $2.12. Assault Formation is $2.17. Ajani's Welcome is $2.18. From there, we have Decanter of Endless Water. That is $2.22, $2.21. And Throat Slitter with that weird, crazy art is $2.27. Moment's Peace, the instant, is $2.32. And Minxin Boo, Timeless Heroes, is $2.33 with the white border. Clever Impersonators, $2.35. Collected Company, this version, because I did pull more than one, is $2.41. Chroma Angel of Wrath is $2.41 as well. Hydroblast in the Future Sight is $2.48. Footfall Crater is $2.49. Crystal Vein is $2.52. Swords to Plowshares is $2.61. Pawn of Ulamog is $2.89. Oath of Druids, that is $3.01. Comet Stellar Pup is $3.05. Archivist, why is the camera doing that? Weird focusing. I'm sorry if it's been doing this the whole time. I am trying a different zoom level. I don't know if maybe that's causing it, but Archivist of Ogamha is $3.10. Summoner's Pact is $3.17. Tasha's Hideous Laughter is $3.32. Elemental Bond is $3.32 as well. Perimeter Captain, that is $3.37. Stony Silence in the white border is $3.76. Ghostly Prison is $3.78, which is a good price, by the way. Aether Vial is $4.16. Chain of Smog is $4.46. Dalthy Voidwalker, that's when we reach over $5. That's $5.58. It's a pretty big jump. Tangle is $5.70. Grinding Station is $5.72. Paradise Mantle is $5.93. Pyroblast is $6.05. Rishadan Port is $7.81. Tortured Existence is $8.02. Bolus Citadel with the white border is $9.05. Ensnaring Bridge is $9.31. Reanimate with the cool old art is $9.88. And then we reach $10. Goblin Lackey with the Future Sight frame is $10.10. Miri's Guild is $12.36. And Echo of Eons is $13.91. I've had a lot of boxes lately where this would have been the biggest hit that we get. And that's not even on the first page here. So then we have Grim Hireling, which is $13.93. And Collected Company, again, the second time, but this one is a foil. This is $15.87. Aronis, God of Victory, is $16.02. Displacer Kitten, which I'm surprised I didn't pull this because I knew that it was an expensive card, $16.53. Forest Bear foil with the cool extended or full art is $23.70. And then Cincy's Divining Top with the Future Sight frame is their biggest hit at $30.23. So the box total for everything in this set scans over $1 was $328.98. That's great, given that we paid before shipping and taxes and everything $200 for the whole thing, including the secret layers. But even on top of that, the bulk, the stuff that was under $1, is still pretty valuable. With the total box price being $400, that's $72 or $71 worth of bulk on that stuff. And that kind of goes back to that part where we didn't see as many commons, and a lot of those cards are playable cards. I mean, obviously there's some stuff that's not, but there is still a lot of playable cards in there. So in total, like I said, $400 for the total box, $328.98 for the scanned dollar and more. And that goes to show, I mean, when you see the stack of stuff that's over $2, right? Like that is a big stack of over $2, especially when you have cards like this, it's just $30. So it does add up, and the value is there. Not a big surprise. That's why people jump on these. That's why these things sell for $250 typically, just for the box, not counting any of the other stuff. Which, speaking of, we do have the secret layer that comes with it, and we have the 3 promo cards, right? These scanned in, and they don't have any values currently. These secret layers, they all scanned in, and these came in at a crazy $177, which isn't going to stick. I mean, these promos that come with these festival boxes, these usually just tank, or not tank, but not the promos, but the secret layers, they usually drop down pretty quickly in price because a lot of people are just buying these for the box. And that doesn't count our bonus card, which this isn't even on TCG Player yet. I'm sure by the time this video is out, it'll be on there. But when I looked up the regular version of this card, it's like $5-6. So I imagine that this foil retro frame, that's probably not going to be all that common. I bet you this is going to be, worth a little bit there as well. That's going to add to the value, and that'll probably help compensate for when these things just completely tank. Frankly, even without the promos and the secret layers, we did well enough with our box, and we did. We got lucky by having 2 foils, but we didn't really hit any big foils. Like one of our foils was $15, and the other one was $25 or something. That's not that's not very high for the foils. A lot of the foils sell for a lot, and those are actually low in foils, both of them. Even though we got 2 of them, even combined, they're not really up there for big hits. So I do think, though, that this Sliver Hive is going to hold some value, and this Ugin is going to hold some value as well once these things start to actually get prices on TCG Player for them. I mean, the truth is the Sliver Hive, the original Sliver Hive, sell for $20. The extended art, old secret layer extended arts, are selling for $180, and currently, at least as I'm doing this, which this will drop, but these are on TCG are listed for $40. I would imagine these will drop down below the price of the original Sliver Hives for a little while, and then they'll come back up and go over, especially since they're foil. They're not going to go up to the 180 of the extended art, but they will be pretty valuable, especially if Edge of Eternities brings slivers, which seems to be the case, as long as they don't bring Sliver Hive into that set as well. This Ugin, on the other hand, is currently, again, still early pricing at $48. But, I mean, we're seeing the borderless one, for example, from Core Set 2021. The normal version of that card is $27 and the foil is $42. So like there is value there. This will hold value in the future. We just don't know where it's going to land just yet. Between those together, I would imagine, I would bet that at minimum they'll be worth $50, $25 each. Probably more than that once the dust settles and everybody's bulk sold off all their stuff. So if you do see these and if it's cards that you're looking for, this is definitely a good tip to keep in mind. Is with these promo cards, once these hit the stores, which by the time you're seeing this, they're probably already hitting the stores, the prices on these things tank as everybody just tries to push out all their inventory. Try to get rid of the stuff while they can because they want to make the money so they can buy the next set. When that happens, that is the time to buy one if you need one. So I missed out on the last promo with the sliver. Was it the first sliver or whatever? I had planned on snatching one of those things up when they were low, and I didn't. And then they all spiked all back up at one time. They all went back up. So they're just, you think they're going to stay low, and then somebody at some point is going to say, hey, this is a great deal, and they're going to buy a bunch of them, and the whole price is going to go way up. So, and then, like I said, we don't know where these are going to land yet. But even without any of this, our mystery box pays for the set by far. More importantly, it pays for, it's going to help me build decks for the next year or two. So, I think that's it for today. This is Binder Minder. As always, thanks for watching. And to put us in your binder, like and subscribe and ring the bell to be notified. You can always catch us on our social media as well, which is down in the description below. Until the next time, though, have a great day. We'll see you soon. Thanks. Bye.